So welcome back to the Midnight Mission podcast, where we talk about everything that we find interesting about Marvel, Star Wars,
Wrestling.
and wrestling, and anything in between. Today's episode, we're actually going to focus on WWE and AEW. And we are going to start off with the changes in WWE.
Yeah.
We all know what's been going on. You know, Vince McMahon is out. That made me sad. Never
End of
thought I
era.
would see the day.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's part of life. Changes happen all the time. And he had a good run in WWE. Some of my favorite matches, rivalries, a lot of, I think arguably one of the best rivalries in wrestling history is like McMahon versus Austin.
That is, yeah.
You know, without Vince,
Yeah.
you know, we would have never had that. We would never have Stone Cold,
Steve
Hulk
Austin.
Hogan, The Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, like all these great names that are synonymous with wrestling. Like without Vince McMahon, we wouldn't have that, and I truly appreciate, everything that he's done for the wrestling business. And, we weren't even going to talk about Vince in the podcast, so I don't even know why I brought him up. But
But
it's
we're
like,
going to talk about his allegations and stuff like that.
yeah,
But as a person, as a business leader,
yeah, putting all that stuff aside,
he did well for the company, like
and wrestling in general.
and wrestling in general.
And some can say without Vince McMahon, there would be no AEW, there would be no WCW.
no TNA,
He
Impact.
indirectly impacted the wrestling world and the wrestling business, and because of all of the things he was doing, like that's why some of these things came about. I mean, granted, like other things probably would have happened, but the wrestling world as we know it
wouldn't be the same.
wouldn't be the
It would
same
be
without
different.
Vince McMahon. So
Especially since he gave a lot of push. Like he was like the pioneer, basically.
yeah.
In a lot of WWE matches, types of matches, these pay-per-view events,
The storylines, a lot of
everything,
characters,
like,
everything.
as a business, he did it well.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't perfect,
It wasn't perfect, yeah.
and not everything was a home run, but for the most part, I think his track record in terms of the
Yeah.
wrestling world and the entertainment aspect of it, I don't think anyone comes close.
Yeah, he has more success than failures.
I
If anything
mean,
failed, if anything went down, it was just like, okay, and then like the next pay-per-view event was like, always,
maybe. I mean, people could probably argue and be like, no.
yeah.
And even if like he had more failures than success, his successes outweighed and overshadowed
Yeah,
the failures. So regardless, like, he gave a lot to the wrestling business, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have gotten through middle school, to be honest. Like that's when I started watching wrestling, and shortest dude in the class.
You RKO'd somebody?
No, but
I did.
I got put in the figure 4. I got put in the walls of Jericho and chipped my tooth.
Really? I put someone in. I hit someone with the RKO once in middle school. That shit was funny.
Yeah,
From the stairs, so we got in trouble.
wow, bro. Nah, wasn't doing that.
Like,
I mean, I
when
chipped
you
my
know when it
tooth,
says
but-
when WWE don't try this at home, I tried it at home.
We all tried it at home.
I tried it at home.
Dude, I wrestle with my son. I have gifts. I'll show them to you later. They're pretty cool. They're solid. Anyway, all right. With that out of the way, we are going to focus and talk about the most recent
Recent news
news,
that
right?
came out, yeah.
Which is Triple H.
Triple H.
Taking over WWE Creative and his new promotion. He was recently this week promoted to Chief Content Officer, which is he's responsible for the creative writing, talent relations, live events, talent development, and creative services. All of those things are under his purview now.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, he reports directly to Tony Khan, which I understand because it would be a conflict of interest if he reported to Stephanie McMahon.
That's true.
But in my head, it made more sense for him to report to Stephanie because, from my understanding, she is co-CEO of like the wrestling side of WWE and the entertainment side, and Tony Khan is co-CEO of like the business side of WWE. So, but I get why he's reporting directly to Tony Khan. Not Kevin.
That's what I was looking up right now because I was like, I'm pretty sure Tony Khan is
Is
the president of AEW.
Oh God, sorry guys.
Roman. Big
Look,
mistake.
We make mistakes.
He made a mistake.
I made a mistake. Is it Kevin? It's Kevin, right? Kevin Con? Or like, what is this guy's name?
I thought you were saying Kevin Conroy, and I was about to tell you that's the voice of Batman, by the way.
I'm looking up the guy's name. Oh my god. Oh, okay. Google. It is Nick Khan. I was so off. Okay. So,
Yeah,
my
president,
apologies,
yeah.
listeners. Nick Khan.
The co-CEO.
I should have put that in my notes.
Yeah.
I tried to go off,
I
off
get it.
the
It's
cuff.
Khan, Tony Khan, Nick Khan.
Spelled the same.
Yeah, so who knows? Theory.
Hey, listen,
hey,
let's not go
man.
there. I can see it in your
Yo.
face. Anyway, so let's talk about Triple H. Since he's taken over
Yeah.
creative, the product has gotten much better.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie.
It has.
So much better.
I don't know if you've been watching NXT.
I have not.
I have.
But I heard it's improved.
It's improved, especially with this whole like merger of NXT and NXT UK.
Mm-hmm.
And they recently just merged. Who's it? Worlds Collide. They did
Their last like pay-per-view
their
or
last
show.
pay-per-view, which it was kind of cool to see, both titles be on one show.
They did that to like quote unquote unify it so
Unify
they
it.
can redo NXT UK and turn it into NXT Europe.
Yeah.
Right? So those titles are gone.
Yeah.
They don't exist. They're going to create new titles whenever NXT Europe launches. Okay. It's funny how wrestling works.
Yeah.
Like they don't just be like, okay, we don't do this anymore and just toss it to the
they
side. We're like, story, let's make a story out of it. Yeah.
And I feel like the shows have been getting better. And I know I've been watching, especially for, what is his name? Axiom. I don't know if you've seen him. He's a mass wrestler.
In NXT?
In NXT. He had his debut match ends of August, around that time.
Mm-hmm.
I really like his work. And I feel like he's gonna go places based on like, because he's a new thing. Well, he's not a new thing to NXT, but like his style is a great addition to it, and he does great promos because he speaks English. He's Spanish. He's like from Spain, if I remember.
Oh, okay.
So his like the part where we see a lot of failures, like in other mass wrestlers in WWE, has always been the language barrier. Mm-hmm. But Axiom, he speaks English perfectly. So
Okay.
I mean, he has his accent, but it's nothing like.
Was Andrade's, was he masked when he first came to NXT? Or like
No,
he didn't have a mask?
He couldn't wear a mask, yeah. So
He just did it for his entrance,
He
right?
did it for his entrance because he was, wearing.
Well, Rey Mysterio.
Well, Rey Mysterio, there's a lot of controversy about that. The whole mask, they took it off and they put it back on.
But that was in WCW, though. So
Yeah,
that
but
doesn't count in WWE.
It does. Well,
Well, I don't know. I don't know how the,
so in Lucha,
in Lucha, yeah.
when you lose the mask, that's it. You can't put on another one. You can't start a new persona. You can't, like it's considered taboo. Like, if.
I mean, that sucks, though.
It does, but
Because I do remember, like, him not wanting to do it in WCW. And like, they forced him to do it.
Yeah, so, it's a taboo thing. Like, once you lose your mask in your mask in a match, that's it.
So is he like a disgraced Mexican wrestler?
At
Nah,
the
no
s-
way. He's too popular.
No, he's too popular, but during that time he was. I remember there was a
like
lot
when he
of
first came to WCW? I mean, WWE?
yeah,
Or
like from
at
like the
end of
Mexico.
it?
No, from the Mexico side, a lot of people were heated about that. They're like,
When he came back?
yeah, because he was just like, you took off the mask. You have like, you can't wear it no more.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, so
Oh, is that why he was repping Cali then?
yeah, the 619.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, he knew.
Yeah,
he knew.
he knew what it was
like,
about.
I don't
It's one of those things. But
get
like I said, like this is showing, and I know Triple H is reaching out to a lot of ex WWE stars. Like I know right now currently he's building relationships with Sasha Banks and Naomi.
Yeah, I saw that interview with that. What's the name of that guy? Doesn't matter. But he did,
they're in the And then actually recently they're back on the WWE website.
Shut up. Let me check.
I checked it yesterday because.
Yeah, because this man brought back Braun Strowman, and I was like, oh.
So when you go on the WWE website, they're now on the roster: Sasha Banks and Naomi. And I think yesterday as well, Titus O'Neil uploaded a photo on his Instagram of Sasha, Bailey, and Naomi. They went to a play together, but this was like the first time we've seen them
like on any WWE
with any WWE
person's
staff,
social
because
media.
we've seen them, obviously in their own thing. Like at the She-Hulk premiere, they were
God, this
there.
is alphabetical order. It's taking forever.
Yeah, you gotta go all the way to S.
Oh, she is. You're right.
So that's what
She's
I'm saying.
back on here.
Like I'm pretty sure they're coming back.
That shouldn't have been a clue.
Yeah, I found that by mistake because I forget I was checking to see Axiom.
And Naomi's on here too.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I was checking for Axiom on there.
Bro, how you go from A all the way to N and then S?
No, because it gives you a list. No, so you're looking at the photo one. They have a list one.
Oh.
And then I just saw the
But
S.
it's also not in alphabetical order. Is he on here?
No, that's what I was about to say. He's not on there.
Yes, he is.
Is he now?
Yeah.
Yesterday he wasn't on there.
No, he's on here now. I'm looking at him right now.
But I like his mask.
AXIOM.
Yeah, and he has a mask on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can see his face though.
Yeah, but it's
because of the flash.
Yeah. No, I mean that's fine. I mean, but I've always liked, I said before, the concept of a masked luchador.
I was never really a huge fan of masked wrestlers as a kid.
That silence just looks at him.
He just looked at me like,
get out.
What?
Get out.
No,
Get out.
Look, you notice I said
Yeah.
masked wrestler. I didn't say Mexican wrestlers.
Yeah.
Because I could never see their face. So I didn't know, I was like, I grew up on WWE.
Yeah.
So that's like how, like that's the wrestling I was introduced to.
Yeah. I would have been Kane had a mask, and the Kane was cool. I always
Yeah,
enjoyed
Kane was a freaking freak. Like I was
That
terrified.
was cool.
Of the
I was
dude,
just like, he's the big rig machine.
That's dope. No, I was terrified of the Undertaker as a kid,
the
and this is before I started watching wrestling. Like I was a punk. I would like turn the TV off because I really thought he was killing people. Because back in the day, he had the gimmick where he would put them in like in the body
coffin.
bag.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it freaked me out, all purple and looking dead or whatever. I mean, you're a kid, you don't know.
Yeah. No, I get what you mean. No, but like, yeah. So we see that Triple H has just started making all these, making these moves. We're seeing it at the start, like
just immediately. Like the week
like,
up,
this
he
isn't
takes
like,
over. Like
normally,
not even the week, dude.
No,
like
the
just
same
days. Because
day.
SummerSlam, he brought back a number of people. Unless that was already in the plans, in the pipeline with Vince, I don't know. But
Maybe we don't know the the internal works for it,
Yeah.
but like from now, he's on top of these things. Like
Yeah,
he's
man.
like, we gotta make this better. We gotta get this better. We're trying, and then especially I think from as the date of recording is the September 9th of this recording. I think in 2 weeks is the draft. So I'm pretty sure
Word? I didn't even know.
I'm pretty sure we're about to see like.
Well, we have a talking about wrestling, and I don't even know what's going on in wrestling. Now.
Yeah, I try to catch him. You know what I'm saying?
Instagram, baby. That's where I get my information.
Yeah. No, I was just thinking about it. I was like, I think it's 2 weeks from now. The draft will be final.
It's usually, it's around this time, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's either, I don't think it's next week. It has to be. It's never like. It's always like mid.
Oh, I see. It's not necessarily confirmed, but it is believed that
Yeah.
it will be.
Because it's
in
always
the
in
next 2 weeks.
September-ish. So
Yeah, true.
anywhere, I'm guessing 2 weeks from now, we'll see the draft, and we'll probably see the return of superstars that, like maybe Sasha and Naomi will be back.
And before we continue, I do want to like clarify that even though we're talking about Triple H and his promotion, and I mentioned all of his roles, we're gonna focus on creative.
Yeah.
Right, because we're not gonna talk about talent relation, live events, and all that stuff. We're gonna focus on creative because that's what we have been seeing.
Yeah.
And it's been solid, dude, since
Yeah.
SummerSlam until now. Like, it's been so good. And to be fair, it was getting better before SummerSlam. To be honest, like with the whole Brock and Roman thing, I was over that. I didn't want to watch it. I wanted nothing to do with it because I saw them at Mania.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's repetitive.
It's
yeah.
repetitive, and it's like the third SummerSlam or something like that.
That
like,
is true.
And like the 100th WrestleMania main event.
Yeah.
So I was kind of over it, but then like with the creative, it was kind of getting good with Brock, and he was no longer with Paul, and he was you could see more of his character and
Get a tractor.
so that was pretty cool. So once we got to SummerSlam, that was already solid to me. But everything else around that, with Dakota Kai, is she Kai or Sky now, or is it whatever? Dakota and Hero.
Yeah.
How do you say her name?
Iro, I think. I don't. We're butchering names.
You guys know who I'm talking about. Okay. That was solid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did you watch Clash at the Castle?
I've seen snippets of it.
Okay, so
like,
I normally watch the live pay-per-view events.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really watch the weekly shows. But the pay-per-view events I do catch. And Clash at the Castle was a solid show. It was a really good show. I think all the matches were pretty good. You know, like before I would say maybe like 2 or 3 matches are solid out of the whole pay-per-view. I think every match in this show was good.
I did. I mean, so I watched like halfway through it because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't pay for this one. I kind of like skipped this one just because I was just like not interested.
You don't have
The-
Peacock?
I do, but I just skipped it.
So what you mean you didn't pay for it?
I didn't like.
It's
I didn't like
included.
sit down and watch it. Like
Oh,
I
okay.
like.
I'm like, what?
Like
You paid extra for it?
No. I mean like I mean like I didn't sit down and watch it.
No, I watched it. Like I watched it. Like I have a picture with me and my boys watching it. Like we were in it.
No, I don't know
It was a
why.
good show.
I like after the pay per view I watched it. I wasn't like, oh, I'm ready. It's
No, I get you. Yeah, because
yeah.
I didn't even realize the show was this past Saturday, the Saturday before.
This Saturday, yeah.
And I was like, this is on today? All right, I'll watch it. And then
Yeah.
I turned it on. I was like, this is good. Oh, bet. You know?
And then Dominic betrayed Rey Mysterio.
I mean, we saw that was coming from
Yeah.
a mile away.
I love
we
the
just were
memes.
just waiting for it to
The memes with
of him and Eddie Guerrero in China.
no
okay.
him and what is her name?
Rhea Ripley.
Yeah,
I love Rhea Ripley.
I know.
She's freaking hot.
I know.
I got to meet her in person at WrestleMania.
I know that's.
Oh, you know what's so cool for me is that I met her
Uh-huh.
and Liv Morgan
Yeah,
at
I
Mania.
know. He won't stop rubbing it in.
And I have a photo with them.
Yeah, we know that. They don't know that, but I know that. And he keeps rubbing it in. But anyway, I love the memes of because you know how she had him wrapped around his leg. She had her legs wrapped around his head. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of memes of the little Yu-Gi-Oh where it's just Yugi slamming the table, and he's like, "It should have been me."
My God, there's a bunch. There's a
always
couple
those.
of like people comparing them to Eddie in China. That's what I mentioned earlier.
Yeah. I did, but I did like the Yu-Gi-Oh one better, which is because it's like it's an actual episode. And he's just slamming the floor. He's like, "It should have been me."
I get that one. I get it because I
Nah.
know, but not everyone knows Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, no, but it's just,
But it's funny.
I feel I've seen that everywhere. Like every time I see that photo, I always see it in the comments. It should have been me.
I'm not a fan
him.
of Dominic though.
Really?
I'm not.
Why?
I don't know. I can't quite like put my finger on it. I think he should have had a mask and he shouldn't have been with Ray. Or if he was going to be with Ray, he should have been with Ray short term, not as long as he's been with Ray.
I get what you mean.
Also, he needs to put on some muscle. Like he doesn't look like a wrestler.
Really?
Nah, he looks like my brother. You know?
I mean,
you met my brothers. You
yeah,
seen Dexter?
yeah.
Sorry, Dexter. Love you, bro. Yeah, he's like a regular
Yeah,
dude.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and his wrestling is okay.
Yeah.
He hasn't done anything to be like, yo, this is dope.
Maybe
Logan Paul has impressed me more.
I don't know about that.
Then Dominic
I don't know about
has.
that. I'm gonna need you to leave.
No, man.
Doors right there.
Listen.
Exits right there.
Okay, let's talk
Get
about that
out.
real quick.
No, I don't want to talk about that.
Logan Paul at SummerSlam.
No, get out.
First of all, I'm not the biggest Logan Paul fan.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm also not a Logan Paul hater. I don't care for the guy.
Yeah.
But I will give credit where credit is due.
Okay. Yeah.
Dude in his match at SummerSlam with The Miz, I saw mad potential in him as like a future WWE champion. No lie.
Really?
I was texting like my regular crew that I text when we watch wrestling or whatever, and like we're talking about it in the match, and I'm like, yo, he's good. He's solid. And like just thinking about like physique, athleticism, everything. Mike's skills, he can get there. I mean, he's a social media personality, so he knows how to talk, but he doesn't know how to do like WWE talk.
I was about to say
those promos. He can improve on that, but like I can see him as a future WWE champion. Yeah, not even like IC champion, like world.
I was
champion.
gonna say maybe like a intercontinental or like United States maybe.
Nah, I can see him be WWE champion for sure.
I can't.
Or Universal. Like if he keeps training and he keeps like.
Well, I don't know.
He
what their
does it like
deal is.
full time.
Yeah, I don't know what their deal is, or like in terms of his contract.
I saw his. I was watching his. He has a podcast, obviously.
Yeah,
everyone knows.
Impulsive, I think that's what it's called. Yeah,
and he had Triple H on there.
Yeah.
It was like before SummerSlam, and I watched it. He's in it. I mean, I don't know what he's doing currently,
I think
but
it's just his podcast and his YouTube videos.
yeah. So, but he's in it. You know, Triple H is his boss, so he signed a legit contract as a WWE superstar, whatever that entails. But
Yeah. He might be a part-time worker, only works 3 hours.
he could be maybe. But you know, he's an athlete, boxes, does
He
all that stuff.
boxes.
But like to translate that into
he
wrestling
loves
and do
kids.
something so quickly, like he impressed me. So back to my original point.
Yeah.
Dominic doesn't really impress me. Like freaking Bad Bunny impressed me more than
Really?
yeah,
I
man.
it was just funny when he got F5.
Nah, but he did that. What is it? The Panama Sunset.
Yeah.
I think that's what it's called, right?
I think so.
Kind of like that front flip type
Yeah,
move.
mhm.
I was like, oh crap, you know?
Yeah. And then actually speaking of that, Triple H is actually reaching out.
Yeah, I didn't watch the conference, but apparently he mentioned him.
He
during the
mentioned him
conference.
by name. He was just like, we're in
Yeah.
the works with him. So
I mean, cool.
maybe we'll see him in the draft.
Maybe he can be part of the Judgment Day with what's his name, the other Puerto Rican dude.
Oh, yeah.
What is it? Damian
No.
Priest.
Yeah, Damian Priest and then Finn Balor.
Ripley's so freaking hot, dude. I don't know.
And then here he goes off again.
I'm your poppy. That's the way she says it. I'm like,
He has it saved on his phone, by the way. He has that voice line saved. I saw it.
I don't.
I saw him earlier today. I saw him. He was
I really
playing
don't.
it back and back. I was just
She's
like,
actually look. I'm not the tallest dude in the world. I'm pretty
I'm
short.
not. There's
but
nothing
she's
wrong
not
with her.
that much taller than I am. I thought like
Uh-huh.
she was much taller than me.
Mm-hmm.
But she had like 4 or 5 inch like platform boots on, so obviously she was gonna tower over me. But she's not that much taller. If anything, she's probably like an inch taller than me. But she looks so much taller than TV. I thought she was like 6 foot.
Perspective.
Yeah, so that means I look tall on camera. Yes.
I don't know.
Thank you, technology.
We'll see. We got to okay. We got to make you tall.
I'm about to be a weirdo and see how tall she is.
Oh no, he's creeping. I hope she doesn't hear this.
5'7". Yeah. Okay. So
Oh, okay. So, yeah.
I was right.
Yeah. Are you the guy that's going? It should have been me, not him.
Nah, forget that. I admire from afar. That's enough.
Okay. That's what he says.
Anything else is kind of weird. Whatever. Anyway, so back to Triple H and WWE Creative. I think I don't want to jinx it, but I think it's looking good for WWE right now, in my opinion. And I think this is a good segue into talking about AEW and what they're going through. Because a lot of people, when AEW started, they were for it, right? Still are.
They still are.
You know, they have their like legit loyal fan base, which is great. There's nothing wrong with that. But my biggest issue with AEW has been like all of the shots that they like take weekly at WWE. And it's like, you don't need to do that to be successful. Like, and the reason why I don't like it is because when stuff like what's happening now happens, it's like, well, that's
you don't
what
feel
get.
sympathy.
Yeah,
It's
I don't feel
like,
any sympathy for it. And I'm like, you know,
seems like a you problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're just
and like let's talk about it. You know, the the issue, the supposed backstage fight between CM Punk and the Elite.
The Elite. Yep.
I was a huge CM Punk fan when he was in WWE.
Same here.
But when he left and he was talking all this stuff and like, whether it's true or not, I don't know. Only he knows. Only WWE knows.
Yeah.
Like, me as a person, and like, if I'm upset about something, yeah, I'll vent with like people in my inner circle, but I won't blast it to everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like when he was doing that, it kind of like turned me off, and like I started liking him less and less. So I didn't really care if he came back to WWE or not. But when he came to AEW, I was like, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
Right? People were happy. People were crying. Cool.
Yeah, he was
You know?
all in.
You know,
Yeah.
he had his theme song, which I
Yeah.
love his theme song.
Yeah, of
His theme
course.
song's fire. I love that theme
amazing.
song. But I was like, all right, man, you know, let me give this guy another shot.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes. Nah, same thing. And
And on top of that, he constantly got injured.
Yeah, like he's injured now.
He's so that's the other thing.
With his match with Moxley, he got injured again.
He got injured, so it's like as of right now that we're recording it, we don't know his
status.
So
I mean, we know he got the title stripped from him.
We know his title has been relinquished, but we don't know if he's suspended or has been fired.
Yeah, because there's been rumors out there that he was going to get fired and some other dudes going to get fired. And I mean, they got suspended for sure.
The Young Bucks already did. That's been confirmed. And the Elites, also Kenny Omega are suspended. That's why the Trios tags is out. But CM Punk's, I think it's 80 days that they're suspended for.
That's a good while to be off TV.
Hey. I mean, that's
like 3.5 months?
Almost. And I think WWE typically when you're suspended it's like 30 days. It's like a month for violations and stuff like that. It's like 30 days.
I'm not gonna say it doesn't happen in WWE because it has. Like you hear stuff from interviews and stuff.
I always hear mostly for WWE is like
the Jericho and Brock one.
Yeah.
They got into a kerfuffle, but
I think the biggest issue not issue in WWE, but the biggest reason for it, based on what other superstars or what they've said, is the health clause that they have to be informing WWE constantly what prescriptions they're taking, and sometimes they forget.
But we all know why, though.
Yeah.
Because of the past history and the past controversies with WWE, and it's like, they have to look out for themselves as a business, but also as their employees, you know? So I get it. And I feel like with AEW, just every week you would, at least it felt like to me, you would see somebody get put through a table or unnecessarily, you don't need, this doesn't need to be the attitude anymore.
That I feel like is going to be a part of a downfall or a downhill for AEW is that how when AEW started, a lot of superstars from all around different shows and everything were like, we don't like the way we're treating. A lot of people felt that they were like, oh, this new wrestling company, they're gonna change. And
they think the grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah, and with the problem with AEW, they have such a good roster, just based on people. If you just tell me the roster, I'm like, that's a
on paper.
On paper, that's an amazing. Or how are we? Where's the money at?
Right.
But what happened? That becomes an issue when, for example, this last pay-per-view, I got really bored of it because it was just too many matches. I felt like
AEW.
Yeah, this last.
How many matches did they have?
I think it was I don't even remember, but I just remember it was it's too much.
Really?
For a pay-per-view?
I can't speak on that because there was a point where WWE they were doing a lot.
Yeah.
The first WrestleMania I went to, I was sitting in that stadium for 7 hours.
But it was awkward. Well, not awkward, but it was too long. Every match was long. Yeah. Typically. Were you gonna say something?
No, go ahead, finish. I'm sorry.
Typically, if it's a long show, you might have a small intermission show, which isn't that it might be just a singles match, no disqualification or whatever.
Right.
That small match, and then he leads to the main event or a title match. AEW is constant title match, next title match, which is okay at sometimes, especially if there's a rivalry or something going on.
I'm trying to understand because WWE, I don't think they do it anymore, but they have the Night of Champions.
Yeah.
And all their matches were title matches.
But that was a once
a year thing.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That was
I'm trying to comprehend, I guess.
But AEW does that every pay-per-view.
Oh.
So it becomes it's you're eating your favorite food.
It's a hard balance when it comes to wrestling, dude. Because with WWE, a lot of the things that dude, the IC title wasn't defended on a pay-per-view for the longest time.
Yeah.
Yeah. The U.S. title or the tag team titles, where are they? They're on the freaking pre-show. Mm-hmm. So each company has their issue. Yeah. I mean, I get where you're coming from with AEW. Putting this controversy aside, we'll talk about that. We'll come back to that. I think my issue with AEW is just their content, period. And how they put their product together. Maybe I'm so used to WWE and how they present their standards and how they present stuff to us. Visual, I'm a visual learner. You know what I mean? So it's when I visually see, I'll put it this way. I went to the first Dynamite show because it was here in DC. I went to the first one, one with Rhodey. And I know there are two different companies that are going to do things differently. But I just hold WWE to such a high standard in terms of their
production,
the production, the
stuff like
production
that, yeah.
value, or everything that they do. Obviously, $1 billion company
Yeah.
versus
Independent first
$1
time
million
company.
company, I guess, is AEW.
Yeah.
I know it's not going to be the same. But dude, I saw things that show that I was like, yo, what are they doing?
Yeah.
Like even some of the wrestling matches, it just looks sloppy. It really reminds me like the end of WCW. It gave me WCW
I see what
vibes,
you mean.
and that really just, I was just like, nah,
This isn't-
I can't deal with this. And to be fair, I haven't watched a full AEW show since I went to that live show, to the first Dynamite show. So I try to reserve like my judgment, but like based on some of the stuff I've seen, I'm like, nah, I don't like this.
Yeah, I
You
get
know,
what you mean.
like WWE wrestling wise, I have no complaints. You know, their act is clean. I mean, yeah, they have botches and they mess things up. Like,
Yeah.
they're not perfect. Where they were lacking was story.
Yeah.
You know, but in terms of actual wrestling,
It was not.
you know, in AEW, I know they have story.
Yeah.
But if you're wrestling and some boo boo, it's gonna take me out the story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. So like that's my issue with AEW, and also I don't like all the shots that they take at WWE, and it's not even like a WWE. It could be any other company,
Yeah.
any other wrestling company. It's just like focus on your product. Stop talking about all these other people,
Yeah.
because guess what? Guess what you're doing? You're forcing, at least in my opinion, you're forcing people to be like, what happened to WWE?
And then you go see
And then you
W-
go what?
And then you're like, oh,
You know,
that's not bad.
like with WCW when it backfired, when they spoiled Mick Foley winning the WWE title
Yeah.
on Nitro, and everyone immediately flipped to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Like that's, if you focus on your product, and I'm not saying pretend like WWE doesn't exist, because sometimes with WWE when they pretend like other wrestling companies don't exist, it's kind of like, that's kind of whack. Like we all know they exist. You guys don't even want to mention them by name. Like I get it. And like I think there has to be a balance with both companies, with WWE
Yeah.
and AEW.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest issue with AEW. And then when you have someone like Punk coming in,
Who just
who
constantly is
has
just-
no filter,
He doesn't.
you know, and it's like,
Pure coffee, no filter.
yeah. So it's like, I don't know what his exact comments were during that media
Yeah.
conference thing, but for it to get to where it got, I feel like, yo, like there needs to be a limit. Like I get that they, correct me if I'm wrong, their promos are unscripted.
Yeah. The majority of there, they're just, you know.
Maybe the top people are unscripted, and it's like, it's okay for them to be unscripted, but there has to be a limit. There
Or like
has
a
to be-
guideline.
there
Like you
has-
can't
yeah.
say this, you can't say that. But
Right.
From that, you can.
You know, and like I know there's been times in WWE when people have mentioned things that they like said like, don't mention this.
And they still
Like
do
a
it.
wrestler told another wrestler, don't mention this, and then the other wrestler mentions it.
Yeah.
Mentions it. Like it happens, you know, but I don't know. I don't like
I
this.
think it's
this
the. Like,
I just don't see it going well for them.
It, in a very simple way to describe it, AEW is becoming very toxic.
Yeah.
And in like simplifying it, it's very
Yeah.
toxic.
Like people were talking all this trash about WWE. It's toxic. I never worked there. I don't effing know. So I
Yeah.
can only go based on like what these
Yeah,
people
yeah.
who actually work there say. But then now, Aleister Black, he requested his release and
They
he got
denied
granted. No, it was
Oh
granted.
no! But first it was denied.
Yeah, but now
And
they
now
granted it. So
it's
he's gone.
granted it,
Where do
yeah.
you think he's going to go? He's not going to Impact.
No, I feel he's
He's not
but
going to
gonna
New
take
Japan.
Not gonna be anytime soon though.
No, he probably has like a no compete clause or something. For a
No,
couple-
he requested it for his a mental break.
Yeah, probably because they were stressing him the F out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I don't think he's gonna be wrestling anytime soon. Maybe he'll come back at the Royal Rumble. I mean, that's a couple.
Maybe.
Because that's in January. That's
It's in January. It's in Texas this year. Or next year, technically. They announced it.
Yeah.
I would love to go, but I won't be able to. I want to go to a Rumble once.
I do too.
Rumbles are pretty exciting.
I've always that's one of my favorite matches. We'll talk about that all the time. Was Rey Mysterio's wins? 'Cause number one to last all that line.
That was a really good Rumble.
Yeah.
Because Taker, anyway, that's a conversation.
We'll talk about that another time. But yeah, and then the other thing I feel is AEW has a lot of like has a very diverse cast and has too much.
Yeah, Tony
Like,
Khan hired too many people.
Too many people, so you can't make like
Like, when was the last time like Rusev or whatever his name is now was on TV?
yeah, or even like
I don't know.
like okay, so the only reasons why I watch AEW is the same reason why for WWE is the Mexicans.
Mm-hmm.
So Andrade's in his crew,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have Pentagon and Ray Phoenix,
Mm-hmm.
who I don't know why they're there. I feel like they're too good to be there, in my honest opinion.
I mean, if they're not there, then where do they go? If they're not in WWE,
I mean, I don't know. Maybe because they've always been in Mexico,
mm-hmm.
and they've been everywhere except for WWE. Basically, they've been on Impact.
I mean, now you never know.
Maybe,
With
and
Triple H
I
in
think,
charge.
I think maybe the issue is Pentagon is a little too no. So I'll say it like this: Ray Phoenix and Pentagon are extremes.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're classic McFoley like extreme.
Oh,
Like
yeah, they're not gonna do that in WWE.
that's what, and I'm thinking about that like right now. Like wrestling wise, they can do it. They've done it.
Mm-hmm.
They're cool. They're both dynamics work together.
Yeah.
The issue is that, and then the same thing in Mexico. They're not afraid to get their hands dirty.
Random question.
Yeah.
What is AEW rated? Is it TV 14?
Yes, it's higher. It should be higher than WWE because they still do their like the what is it called? Thumbtack.
Thumbtacks.
Thumbtacks matches and stuff like that.
But WWE has done thumbtack matches since they were when PG. What they don't do is like the blood and all
no,
that
yeah,
stuff.
but AEW still does blood.
And they were just doing it every week too, dude.
Yeah.
Every time I saw on Instagram, it's like it's another match. Somebody,
Yeah.
somebody got busted open.
Someone got
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
But, and then I kind of feel like they won't fit in WWE.
Dude, the day they were here
Yeah,
for the first Dynamite,
yeah,
John Moxley put Kenny Omega through a glass table,
yeah,
which is like, okay, that's cool. And I was like, oh, that's dope.
yeah. But when you see it
But when
multiple
you
times,
see it all the time, it's just not special anymore.
yeah.
So then what happens? They keep having to up the ante and make things. That's why I feel like they've gotten so many injuries. Like they
flew too close to the sun.
Yeah, dude.
That's
it's
what
just
it is,
like they
'cause-
need to scale it back a little bit. You know,
And I feel
save
like
those things for like special occasion pay-per-views
events,
or something.
or maybe like feuds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, this is gonna settle this feud once and for all on this big all-out brawl.
Yeah.
Then I'm fine with like seeing like these big matches,
Right.
right?
Dude, where's Samoa Joe?
I don't know. Last time, wasn't he sitting down in the commentators?
No, dude, he's in Ring of Honor. And who owns Ring of Honor? Tony Khan. He bought it. I think it's like their development whatever system now, or something or the other like that. Because Cesaro is now their world champion, or is his name on? He goes by Antonio.
He goes
now.
by another name, but yeah,
Right.
yeah. I
So
know
like, where are these people? Why
I
are they
feel
not
like-
on AEW?
I feel like it's a whole.
know?
I feel like a solution, and I don't know how much money it's going to take for AEW, is to have them like make two shows the way we have SmackDown and Raw.
But they do have two shows.
But
There's
they
Dynamite,
focus on-
and then there's the other. What's the other one called?
It's like, see, that's the point I'm making. Like, you don't know the other one. Like, I don't know the other one. Like, I know Dynamite, but I don't know the
Rampage.
Rampage. And then with these shows, it's like it feels like, I think it's Dynamite that feels more powerful, like where everything happens.
Because that's like their Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, but even though they have Rampage, it kind of feels like,
Dude, listen, they're even coming back to DC, and they're like in this small ass arena that
Where are
I've never
they?
heard of. They're going to the entertainment and sports arena, dude. I've lived in DC all my life. I've never heard of that arena.
I've never heard of that.
Never.
Where is it?
It's
neighborhood
so
is it?
small, dude. It's in I think it's in Northeast.
Oh,
No, that's a lie. It's in Southeast DC. It's so tiny, and I think they come in a month, October 5th and the 7th.
Yeah, I'm good. I know Extreme Rules is coming to Philly.
Yeah, dude. And I looked up the ticket prices, and like $50, the cheapest one. No, thank you. No, thank you. I can get tickets for Raw, $25. Nosebleed seats, yeah, but I'm there for $25.
And
I'm
then
paying
you get the
$50
other
for this.
20 to buy food and just sneak it in there. At that point.
No, $20 ain't gonna get you far for food.
No, I'm not saying buy food at the venue. I say that's why you have
Oh,
to.
but right before.
Yeah, right before going.
Yeah, and I think this venue that they're at, like only they know why they're in such a small
Yeah.
venue. I don't effing know, but I think it's only like under 10,000 people. It's not huge. And I'm not saying it has to be huge, and I know WWE is not selling out,
They're not. They don't
Capital
sell out
One.
arenas. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they have their little stage magic and all that stuff.
Yeah, but I don't know. But they have whatever. My thing is, I may sound like an AEW hater, and maybe I am, and don't want to admit that I am, but I'm just not surprised with all of the stuff that's going on backstage. I mean, I'm also not like happy and celebrating. Yeah, AEW failed because then WWE is gonna get complacent again and start giving us crap again. Competition is good.
Yeah,
I just wish, in my opinion, the competition was better.
yeah, and I think what's disappointing for me, especially with AEW, is that it had so much potential in the start.
Yeah, started off hot, bro.
Yeah, like fresh off the stove. Like we were like, okay, we're doing this, we're doing this. Yo, we just got Andrade on our team. We got all these people. We're taking people from WWE.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool.
I should have known something was up
Where
when
they
Cody
at?
was like, "Oh, I'm gone."
I think that was the
that was like the signal for people to be like,
wait, he
dude,
left?
one of the people who started it is bouncing. Like,
Why?
Exactly.
That's a big red flag.
yeah, and then to come back to WWE and like solid in WWE. Like I wasn't a Cody Rhodes fan before he left. Freaking Stardust, who cares? Like, you know what I mean? It's whack. But I was hyped though when he came back at WrestleMania. Like he made a name for himself outside of WWE.
The American Nightmare.
Which I think that's cool. Not a lot of people have that kind of success outside of, like, sometimes it's the other way around. They become famous and have success in WWE, they leave, and then, they continue their success. Not that he wasn't successful in WWE, but he wasn't like a big name, like A-list wrestler. He left as freaking Stardust.
Yeah.
And then made a name for himself.
Outside of
and comes back. Like, when's the last time you see someone debut or re-debut at WrestleMania? It's rare.
Yeah. Just a debut there.
And everyone was like on their feet, and even I was like, "Oh crap, Cody Rhodes!" Like,
yeah. It's like, oh, they heard the theme song. I was like, oh,
and I didn't even know his theme song. Was that his theme song in AEW?
Yes.
Oh, so he owns the right to that song.
Yeah.
Then. See, like, and I don't know, man. Like, I wish AEW. I really wanted to like AEW. I really did. I just something about it from the beginning that I don't know, man. I can't put my finger on it. Like, I try to make sense of it and say it's like I'm used to WWE product, and maybe that's a part of it.
Maybe, but I mean, that's a good you setting a standard for wrestling in general at this point.
Yeah, just even any kind of production, man. Like if you look at, all right. So for those of you who are listening and don't know, I am into technology, right? That's literally my job at the school that I work at. But before it was my job, I was always into it. I always found it interesting. I'm also a musician, so I'm also into sound. So when I go to a WWE event, like, yeah, I'm looking at the wrestling and stuff, but my nerdy ass is also looking at the lights. It's also looking at the stage, also looking at the sound, also trying to find
the designs,
where,
stuff like that. Yeah. Well,
not only that, but like where the soundboard is,
Yeah.
where the sound engineers are, and I'm over there, like I'm just looking for him.
He's right there.
And I'm like, and I like watching behind the scenes on how they produce their product and stuff like that. Like, putting the wrestling aside and all the wrestling politics on us, they put on a solid product. You'll be hard pressed to find any other company, wrestling or non-wrestling, to put on a show like WWE.
Yeah. Like,
it's a freaking spectacle, especially when you go to WrestleMania.
Yeah. I do want to go.
That's like
Big hype.
the way they put their shows together, bro. It's just like, it's like second to none. And I'm not saying it took them a while to get there.
Yeah.
Right? So I always knew that it was going to take AEW a while to get there. But I think they just had to do too much too fast.
Yeah.
They didn't allow...
They jumped the gun. Like,
they didn't allow for growing pains. I think that's part of the issue. And I think that's why a lot of it reminded me of, like, the last days of WCW. So,
yeah.
I mean, we haven't really talked much about that controversy, mainly because I don't know too much about it.
I feel like, from what I've seen, it sounds like a lot of like he said, she said, and like that.
We're
So
all grown, man. All grown ass
yeah,
men in shorts.
and it's mostly like with CM
trunks
Punk.
wrestling.
Like Young Buck said this, and then CM Punk was heated about that. Says it in his little rant, and then after the rant, Young Bucks and Kenny Omega bust into his locker room,
Man, if you don't shut your old ass up, man,
and
come on.
then
You're
that's
like
when the
twice the age of these
altercation.
guys. Like, it's wrestling.
And so now, like I think as of now, the last thing was like, oh, the Young Bucks didn't kick down the door, and they walked in there aggressively. So right now, like I said, it's a lot of he said, she said sort of thing.
Yeah, but from my understanding, it
Because it
I don't know
starts
if there
with
was a before
there.
the press conference, but from my understanding, they got heated because of what he said during the press
It
conference.
was heated before, but CM Punk was heated because they keep what was it? It's him and Hangman Page.
Mm-hmm.
His beef with him and somebody else. I can't remember who he named him in his little rant, and the Young Bucks took
Like offense to it.
offense with it. They got personal with it because he also points fingers at them as like, oh, they're the ones saying all this stuff too. Like he goes on this whole rant basically, and the altercation starts after that whole interview, and then so from this is all he said, she said.
I don't know, man.
First, apparently they kicked down his door, and then that's when the altercation starts. But now they walked in aggressively, so we don't know the full. I know Tony Khan released a statement saying that they've hired an investigator, an outside party investigator, to figure this out. Because
It's not that serious.
it really isn't. It sounds like a lot. And then who's CM Punk's trainer? Something Steele. I can't remember his name.
Oh, he also got suspended, right?
Yeah, because
That's the other dude.
Yeah,
he bit someone.
He bit Kenny Omega, I think it was.
Oh my god!
He was he said he got him in the lock, and so he was like, "Ang, ang, ang."
Oh crap! Get off me!
And it's like Kenny Omega was holding somebody's dog. I think Steele's dog.
There was a dog there.
There's a dog there. So it's like,
listen, man. See, this is the kind of like. I'm not saying this stuff doesn't happen in WWE. It probably does every day. Who effing knows? Like WWE, like they were petty. They were sending people home and sending their stuff in trash bags, not even in boxes. I'm not saying they're like
they're perfect, but like
they're perfect, but
they have wrestlers court though.
well, that's because of Taker.
Yeah,
They don't have a Taker no more.
yeah, but he's gonna come back in dire situations. I feel like if that happened in WWE, I feel like he would be like,
Hello. I can't even get my voice deep enough.
I'll be there.
Hello. Yeah, I'm not gonna try.
Shows up.
Stop trying.
He just shows up there. Like, what happens?
Sorry, Taker. All right. I don't know. Maybe they need their own version of Wrestlers Core.
Maybe because it
I don't
seems
know.
like there's a lot of like.
I just feel like Tony is also not like
And then
handling everything well.
that's the other thing. I feel like as a as an
He's
owner
also young,
CEO.
right?
Yeah.
How old is he?
I don't even know, but he has like a baby face.
He's like my age, maybe a little bit older.
I think he is. Let's find out.
No, he cannot be in his 40s.
He looks like it though. He is current.
Dude, he's not even in his 40s. He's
Yeah, I told you.
39. He's freaking almost my age.
So, and then he's right there next to CM Punk, and he's going on this rant. You would think that he would,
Yeah, like
tap
chill
him
out.
on the
You know what I'm
shoulder.
saying? Like, yeah.
He doesn't even have to say like something. He just be like kick him because they're sitting next to each other in the table.
Mm-hmm.
He just slap his leg. I don't know, something like
I don't know.
like maybe he's like this. Is
Or have a
shoot.
conversation with him afterwards and be like, "Hey, man, what you said wasn't cool. You
'cause he
need to
was
release
right
a
there.
statement." No. I mean, yeah, I know he's not. I get why he probably didn't say anything then and there,
Yeah,
but after, who knows? I don't know if he did or didn't say anything, but I haven't heard that he did. So I don't know.
And
I
he's
just
just, like,
imagine him in the
ignoring it.
back in the corner crying, "Stop it, guys! Stop fighting! No!" Like I don't know. That's so mean. Let me stop because I know there are people out there who
really
are
like I don't know.
fans and like
We just
if
lost,
you
like,
like
half
it,
the fan
it's
base.
okay.
We lost everybody.
I don't know. I do want them to get better in every aspect, just like I want WWE to continue getting better. And hopefully with Triple H this is going to happen, and with AEW, I don't know how it's going to happen, but I hope that it does.
I hope, because like I said, AEW has an amazing roster. It's not an issue of like for example, like WWE right now. I don't even know half the rosters. Like
I don't either.
I don't like on like, but AEW. I might not know the whole roster, but I know like I've seen them. I've seen like I might know their
You know who I
names.
do know from AEW? The
Athena.
former WWE guys and
Oh,
girls.
yeah, Athena.
No, but they have some solid people. Who their TBS women, champion? What's her name?
I don't remember her name because
She's awesome.
I don't like her because
Why?
she beat Athena.
Athena's some trash anyway.
What do you mean? She was amazing. Ember Moon was amazing.
Ember Moon, she was
Get
good.
out.
She was good. She was
Get
good.
out. The door's right there.
That's my door though.
Get out. It's my door now. You said
No,
that.
but
Get
she's
out.
good though. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
But
the
that's what I'm
AEW
saying.
women's division
Yeah.
was pretty solid at first, but then I don't know what happened. I don't know
feel-
what happened to them.
I feel like they just gave up. Well, not the women, but like production wise, they're just like, let's focus on.
Yeah, man,
this.
because the WWE women's division is just good and it's just getting better.
It's like especially their like the NXT War Games, when they did their first the women's match. That was amazing.
It was a good match.
It was a good match, but like
Man, I love the golden yellow era of NXT.
yeah,
Like some of the best matches. I think I said this in one of the podcasts. I was talking to someone maybe, I don't
Yeah.
know. But when the NXT shows were better than the main roster shows,
we talked
that
about-
says a lot,
yeah,
you know? And I was just like, this SummerSlam sucks. But NXT last night, TakeOver was
TakeOver
fire.
was
It was so good, you know? So, I
yeah.
don't
So
know.
that's what I'm saying. I also have big hopes for NXT 2.0.
Yeah, 3.0 now,
Yeah,
technically.
whatever they want to call it now.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like it. I just wish AEW the best of luck.
Yeah.
I want them to improve. I want to like them. I want to get into their product. Like I'm into WWE. You know, I will spend money to go to a Raw, to a
He will.
SmackDown, to a WrestleMania.
He did.
You know, I tried and I went to one AEW event. I spent the money. I refuse to do it again. Just because I don't like their product.
That's true. I mean,
And that's everyone's entitled to their own
No,
opinion.
yeah.
You know, they like I said, they have hardcore AEW fans.
yeah,
People who hate WWE.
yeah, that is true.
You know, I don't hate AEW, but I don't like them. Because to me, they haven't shown me anything that I can like really sink my tooth and get into it.
No, I agree with you that too, and the same thing goes with like I've said before, like there's too much.
Yeah,
It's like it's too much on a plate, like separated.
yeah. And I guess people will probably say, well, you just said you've only seen one full show. How are you gonna sink your teeth into it if you don't give it a chance? And I'm like, okay, I see that argument, but I did go to the show and did give them a chance, and
Yeah.
that one show did not do anything for me.
Yeah.
You know, that's like going on a date.
If it went bad the first time, why would you go again?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I want them to be better. But,
I do too. I mean, especially with the roster, like I hope it doesn't like go out. Like that's a lot of people out of a job.
yeah, I wouldn't want that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want them to go
But
under.
you know,
I wouldn't
it's-
wish that.
no, I wouldn't either. But like it feels like these are like the steps.
Yeah. I wouldn't even want them to be like bought out or absorbed into
Or,
WWE or anything. I would want them to stay their own thing and do
Independent,
their own thing.
Just separate thing.
Yeah, and they
forever.
don't. And I know I mentioned about the production of WWE. Like their production doesn't have to look
The same.
the same as that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like the production quality, like the effort. And I'm not saying they're not putting. I don't know. I can't pick the right words because I don't want people to think that I'm saying they're not putting the same effort because
It's
for all I know they are. It's
yeah.
just. I don't know. It's not the same. WWE has way more years, way more
I
experience.
think it's just a matter of like, it's that sort of like trial and run, but they've already exceeded the trial for AEW right now, and it's like it's time for change. I feel like With
Something
either
needs
the
to happen.
shows, or
Yeah, 'cause
the
they need
roster
to-
production, championships, whatever the case may be.
I think he just hired too many people too
yeah, I think
quick.
that's like I said, that's one of the biggest. Because it's like now you have too many good things. Like who do I put out?
Right, and that was an issue with WWE. They were hiring all of these people, And I heard, through rumors and through podcasts, like, oh, they're just hiring just so they don't go anywhere. They
Yeah.
sit them at home. Maybe. I don't know.
They did do that. I mean, I know Andrade talks about in his he had an interview in Mexico. How he was talking about like the way a contract works. He goes into detail about it. The way a contract works.
I got to watch that.
It's in what's it called? His name is Escorpion Dorado. He does like that sort of like interview in the car, like they drive around all around Mexico,
cool.
and he has a mask on.
Is there a YouTube video for that?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
I'm
Peluche
definitely
en el
watching that.
Estuche. I'll send it to you later. But for anybody on
cool.
YouTube, it's called Peluche en Estuche. It's just like his joke thing, and he interviews a lot of Mexican wrestlers. So he interviewed Sin Cara, both of the original one, Místico and Cintadora right now, Alberto del Rio.
It's in Spanish though, right?
It's all in Spanish, though.
Okay.
But I think it does have English captions, just in
Okay,
case,
cool.
because I know he has a sort of a small international fan base.
I'm gonna need the English caption.
No, it's very funny. Like,
Yo hablo español.
yo hablo solo un poco español. So,
But
and like I
there's some
said,
words I've been,
Andrade talks about the contract, and
Mm-hmm.
he goes into detail. He's like, the contract, they tell you how much you're gonna make a year, like what's your like your end salary,
Right, like any regular
like any
contract.
regular contract, and you do. They like regardless when you get your paycheck, you're still being paid this amount regardless if you don't wrestle. So for all, you can just stay at home and just not wrestle.
That's sweet.
And so because he was talking about like when he got injured, he was at home, but he was still getting paid.
But they're limited though. Even if they're they're at home, they can't do certain things though.
Yeah.
They can't take other gigs and stuff like that.
No, I mean obviously that's part of a contract, but I mean like in terms of like money wise, like you can really just sit home.
They're literally making the minimum of what they're, because if they're home, they're not making any merchandising money or anything like that. Because their stuff may be selling if they're like
certain things are selling, but like back in the day, they used to before the whole WWE into Peacock. WWE stars would make a portion of the ticket sales, the ones that are wrestling, but now because of Peacock, they have lost that revenue. So that extra little,
I did not know
the
that.
extra
That
little
sucks.
bonus that they would receive from like pay-per-views, a lot of people are like upset about that.
Oh no, I did know that because I think Punk talked about it when they launched the WWE Network.
And
Yeah, I do remember something like that. I think. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
But I think I
quote him, put him on blast, put the timestamp. But
God.
no, but like Andres says, like so every contract is different. So sometimes you'll still get paid at the end of the 2 weeks. But it'll be a certain amount, or it'll be your full amount. And it all depends on the contract. That's all. That's different for everybody. But you're still getting paid. And so he was just like, I could have just stayed in WWE, collect the check. If they use me, they use me. If they don't, they don't.
Right.
But he was just like, he wanted to be more, all that stuff.
No, I get that. I get one
And then
more.
that's what ends up happening with a lot of superstars. They're like, yeah, money's cool and all, but I want to,
I want to wrestle.
I want to fight.
Yeah.
I want to wrestle. And so they're like, oh, well, I'll go to do this.
I get that.
We
And I
see
know,
that,
I know
yeah.
with WWE creatively, people were not happy
Yeah.
because, like I said, everything like went through Vince, and if it was a no, and like Vince had people, supposedly Vince had people in his ears, and like, no, do this and that, whatever. Like I could get how frustrating that can
Yeah.
be. In any job.
In any job,
It was
it's
like, man, what?
man.
Why are you talking to this fool? You should be talking to me. Like I'm doing.
Man, I'm the one that's throwing myself off the top rope. What do you mean I can't do
Exactly.
that? So yeah, and then you see that.
But I think this was a pretty good conversation.
I just want to point out one thing. You know how Andrade joined AEW and he like immediately started wrestling. Like he didn't have the claws. The only reason he was able to do that is because remember his father-in-law is Ric Flair, so he has good.
Yeah, pool.
He has
cool.
good. Yeah.
Ric Flair's another one, but I don't even want to get on Ric Flair.
I'm only pointing that out because he brought it up in the interview too. And you see,
I gotta listen.
he
to
talks
it.
about. He's like, yeah.
I gotta
He was
listen
talking
to
about his relationship with Charlotte Flair, so that was funny.
Yeah, because they broke up for a little bit and then got back together, and
Yeah,
then
well,
got
they're
engaged,
engaged.
and then got married.
Yeah, because she got upset too because he went to go work at AEW.
That's why she got upset.
That was one of the things because they used to do everything together because they were on SmackDown together.
What, was he not supposed to work?
Damn.
What?
No, but it was just like they're
dumb.
traveling together, they're working together. I get it from her because I've been through that situation.
I get it, but you
She
also have
didn't-
to be open to change. As much as it sucks,
I'm not
but-
saying that she wasn't open to change. I'm just saying that she was just like,
Bro, they broke up apparently, supposedly.
I mean,
I mean, at
all
the end of
ends
the day,
at, you know,
yeah,
at
they
the end
did
of the
well,
day,
they
it
got
worked
married,
out. You know,
whatever,
maybe
but-
you know, love prevails, blah blah blah, all that stuff.
Womp womp.
You know, but you know,
Yeah,
boys making that money.
I mean, good for him. I don't know.
No, that shit is funny. The interview is funny too because he's wearing a suit and he asks him why you wearing a suit. He's like, so I can look small next to you. Because he's like, when I take these off, you're gonna be running.
Oh my
It's funny
gosh.
because they're like they're Mexican, so it's like that very like
He's a pretty tall Mexican. There's some pretty tall Mexicans though.
yeah, yeah.
Like,
That's like
I know of
really
some.
rare.
No, not really.
Yeah, no,
I think it's like depending on the region of Mexico where they come from. Nah.
no.
I mean, you're Mexican. You know more better than
Yo,
me.
like the cars, like I'm like 5'3".
You
5'4".
You cannot be 5'3".
I don't remember. I'm 5 something.
No way, bro. You're like 5'5", 5'6", because you're taller than me.
Probably. I feel small and I feel too like small in the car.
So the cars are tiny, so you feel big in the car.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I feel like a giant in the car because I have to fucking hunch down, and I'm
It's
like,
freaking the best feeling ever, bro.
Nobody-
When
I
you're
like-
short and then like you feel like
just go live in Mexico. Just go. You can be like, whoa, and like so. Here, you know, in the United States, I'm not tall. We're not tall, right?
we're not considered tall, not even a little bit.
We go over there, we're considered tall. Like,
That's why I like going to my grandfather's church sometimes because you know they got a lot of Latinos over there. Some people, like a lot of people from Guatemala.
yeah, I
They're
know
short,
what you're
and I'm
talking
just
about.
like,
I know.
bro, I can see the top of your head, dude. You're tiny.
Yeah, and it was like I got in the car, like I get in the taxi, and I'm like, this feels, I feel tall. I'll be like, yo, I gotta fucking.
You gotta duck your head.
I gotta
and be
duck my. I gotta like, yeah.
I'm not used
I
to
was
it.
like, I feel like Andre the Giant. Dang.
Come on. On that note, Triple H,
Yeah.
keep doing what you're doing with
Doing what you're
WWE.
doing.
Creative, solid, great. I love the work. AEW,
Step it up.
get it together.
Get it together.
That's all I'm gonna say. Next week we are going to continue our
episode.
conversation on wrestling, where we're going to talk about our
Personal views.
personal views,
things.
our favorite wrestlers, our
Favorite
favorite
brand.
wrestling eras, and favorite matches.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you found this episode interesting and you enjoyed it, tune in next week. If you didn't, still tune in next week. You might like that one. And with that, I'm gonna say bye. Peace.
Bye.